What happens when you start a car? We all know that the engine turns over and the car is ready to go. But have you ever wondered what else happens when you turn that key or press that button? Well, here are a few things that happen when you start a car that you probably didn't realize. When you start your car, all of the small electric motors inside of it begin to work. These motors run various functions throughout the vehicle, including things like the power steering, the air conditioning compressor, and the water pump. All of these things need power in order for the car to run properly, just like you need food in order for you to run properly. Next, once the engine is running, the car's computer, also known as the EC, will wake up and start performing various tests on all of the different systems of the vehicle to make sure that everything is functioning properly. If the ECU detects any issues, it may turn on the check engine light and store a code for that issue. So if you start your car and the check engine light turns on, you will know that something is right, and you should get that code read in order to determine what the problem is. Another thing that happens when you start a car is that the battery starts to discharge. This is because all of the electrical components in the car are drawing power from the battery. As the engine is running, the alternator is also running, which means that the battery is being charged as it However, if the engine isn't running, then the battery is the only thing providing power to the electrical components, and it will slowly discharge until the engine is started again. Next, when you start a car, the fuel pump will send gas to the engine. The engine then uses this gas in order to create power. However, some of that gas will also end up in the exhaust. Depending on how much gas is in the exhaust, the catalytic converter will need to work harder or take a break. When the catalytic converter has to work harder, it can cause the exhaust to become hot enough to burn off any excess gas. This is why you may sometimes see a small flame coming from the exhaust when you start a car. Lastly, when you start a car, the alternator begins to spin. The alternator is what powers the electrical components in the car. It does this by converting mechanical energy into electrical energy. The alternator is powered by the engine, which is why the car needs to be running in order for the alternator to work. So the next time you start your car, just remember there's a lot more happening than just the engine turning over. Hopefully you learned something new. If so, please like and subscribe for more.